Hello, this is Leo from Codes and Posters, and today I'm gonna talk about the quote Fortune favors the bold. So, what does this quote mean? Well, let's see. I think that it's not lucky to be lucky, and luck plays a very important role of the very successful people. If you study success and if you study how some successful people they achieved their success, you're gonna see that at some point in their lives they were extremely lucky. Like they were lucky to be in the right place at the right time. But if they didn't have the preparation, and if they didn't have their skills, their talent, then even if they were in the right place even if they were in the right place in the right time, they wouldn't be able to achieve that level of success. So what I think this quote really means is that it just tells you that it's not the secret to success is not only to be lucky, because the secret to success is also to be prepared. So when luck arrives, when luck comes to your life, you've made all the preparation, and you are prepared to take that chance and make something out of it, right? So I think this is the key takeaway from this quote here, is that you have to be bold, right? Fortune favors the bold. Well, if you're bold in your vision, if you have a vision for what you want to achieve, and if you're very bold, and if you're very prepared to achieve that vision, if you practice and become master and become great at something, and if you study and like suppose you want to be the greatest musician, you want to be a great musician, you want to play and make amazing music, and or you want to be a great painter, or me in my case, you want to be a great poster designer, or you want to be an artist, right? So the more I practice, if I do this every day, and if I practice myself every day, when the moment of luck arrives to me, or for example, if I have an opportunity to have a meeting with someone from the art world, which is very relevant, someone very important in the art world, that person has the power to make my work expand and reach completely different levels of exposure. And if I meet that person and I am able to actually perform at my best, after we agree, or after we make a deal, then this is the pivot, but this is the point of the change in your life. Because you see that in life if you study successful people, you notice that their progress is not linear, right? You notice that they are doing something, they're pursuing something, and it looks like a line like this, but then there's something that they do that is the point where it starts to exponentially, like a curve like this, grow, and their success starts to exponentially grow. And why is that? And then sometimes and that's the thing, if you didn't practice before, and then you do something at this point where you have the chance and you have the potential to reach the exponential growth, but if you didn't practice before, or if you have if you're stuck in your mind with a bad mindset that you cannot do it, maybe you sabotage yourself because maybe you think, oh no, I can't do this, and sometimes this happens to people. Sometimes they just facing a huge challenge and facing like the moment in their lives where they can really change their lives, and being faced with that, they kind of run to the backstage out of fear. And the reason they run out of fear is because they were not prepared enough, right? They were not bold enough. So that's why I think success is something that, in order for you to achieve success and stay successful, because it's very easy to lose your success. If you want to stay relevant and stay successful, you need to be prepared, and you need to be bold. And I think that's like basically the takeaway from this quote here, that you gotta be really bold in what you propose to do, and you gotta be really prepared. You need a lot of practice. You need like 10,000 hours of practice in what you do, so you can actually be confident. Because that's the thing, you gotta be confident what you do. Like, nobody is gonna give to you, no record label is gonna give you a record deal if you don't prove to be experienced, and if you don't prove to be comfortable enough to go there and write an amazing album and go and record it and work with the people, the producers, and perform it live for thousands of people, and then the record label is gonna book a tour with you. So they have to be confident that you can actually go and perform each show consistently, and every show is gonna be amazing, because that's how you're gonna achieve a fan base, right? So you need preparation, you need confidence, and the way to develop this confidence is through practice, So you gotta practice, so you gotta be bold. Otherwise, when you reach this point in your career where luck came to you, you're gonna fail. You're gonna take luck and you're gonna do average work, and then the moment will pass, the opportunity will pass, and you're not gonna be able to surf the wave, right? Because you see, that's an important concept to grasp about life, and about if you study the history of successful people, they always find ways they always surf waves, okay? So imagine, like, there's the wave now, there's the technology wave. Like, imagine that there was the dot-com bubble, and that a lot of people surfed that wave. Now imagine that we in the world now, there's always a wave or different waves happening in the world. So for example, I'll give you one example. Now is the pandemic, right? Is the coronavirus. this is a tremendous opportunity for those who want to create something new, because when a virus, when a crisis like this hits, you basically have a change in the world. The world completely suddenly changes in a way that people want different things now. Like, for example, now people want to wear face masks, right? And before, people didn't care about face masks. So imagine the huge amount of opportunity for the people who actually produce face masks, if you know what I mean. So think about supply and demand, and think about now that there's a wave of the coronavirus, of the pandemic. There's a wave for you to surf if you manage to create and invent something great, right? That's one thing. And now different kinds of waves. Now imagine there's the Bitcoin, there's a cryptocurrency wave, right? And you see a lot of people got rich with cryptocurrencies, right? When there was the first spike, and then there was the second spike. So cryptocurrencies is also a wave that many people surfed. Some of them really failed, but some of them really got successful. And I think cryptocurrency is still something new, and I think it is still considered a wave. Now, blockchain is also a wave, right? Blockchain is also something that a lot of people are exploring. Now, VR is another wave. I think there's going to be a huge wave of VR that big companies are already putting a lot of money into it, right? YouTube, social media. I think social media now, I don't know, maybe we are reaching a peak. I cannot know, nobody knows about the future, right? But maybe we're just like reaching a peak in social media about the possibilities that you could become like a successful influencer, right? Because I think this it was definitely a way for you to surf 10 years ago, I would say, right? 10 years ago, if you wanted to propose, if you had this vision to become an influencer, I think probably now you would be a very successful one, right? But now I'm not sure, because there's so many people doing, right? So maybe it's not the best thing to pursue if you want to be extremely successful. Or maybe I'm wrong. See, I'm doing these videos. Maybe I turn out to be successful. Who knows? But yeah, you gotta be really thinking forward. You know, like thinking like a visionary, thinking about something that you can do that doesn't exist yet in the world. You gotta be very smart, very like inventive, you know. You gotta think outside the box, because if you just follow what people say, you're not gonna be able to create anything unique, and then you're just gonna be following trends. You don't want to be a follower, right? You want used to create a trend, right? And you see like these big companies like Airbnb, they actually happened. These companies happened because of a crisis that was happening, like the 2008 crisis. That's when Airbnb started. When two, I believe, students they didn't have any work. They couldn't find any job and any work, and because of that, they saw the opportunity. Because of the crisis, they saw that people wanted to make money because people were jobless. A lot of people lost their jobs, and they found this opportunity where people could rent their apartments, you know. And then that's how Airbnb started. So they ride this wave, you know, of the unemployment, right? So there's a wave of unemployment. So you gotta be really paying attention to what's happening in the world, because you gotta understand what are the waves, where are the waves that are happening now in the world, where you could put your talent and your skills to surf on it, right? So that's a very interesting concept for you to think about it. Yeah, and then when fortune comes to you and the right opportunity arrives, and if you're prepared enough, if you have a solid foundation, you know, in your mind, in your skills, in your confidence, if you're confident that you can do it, and you have the right team and the right people and everybody is there to support you, yeah, this is the moment of the change, you know. I normally call this like the punch moment, because in life, that's it. When you see some people, when you see the finances and the net worth of successful people, you see there is a line, and then suddenly there's always the punch period, which is where they get boom, or for example, if their company get acquired, and boom, that's when they suddenly become millionaires from night to day. That's how success and really successful people work, you know. They might wait 10 years for this moment to happen, and it might take, you never know, it might take 2 years. Like if you follow for example the story of Instagram, I think it took like 3 years or 4 years for them to sell for 1 billion to Facebook. It took this time. So imagine, like you can make your life in 3 years, 4 years if you're very lucky. And they were extremely lucky, because also they surf the wave. Instagram surfed the wave of the smartphones having cameras that were getting more powerful, these cameras, and people, and internet connection was actually allowing people to share photos and non-stop. So it surfed this kind of wave of technology, right? So technology is incredible, right? Because you can really you have to be really into what's happening in the technology world in terms of possibilities, because now, even with any kind of technology, these big companies, they don't own any, I mean, they make these technologies available, so a lot of people can use it, so everybody can use it, and then suddenly now someone literally from their garage can just go and create something, some piece of app, some software or app that can really disrupt how people experience the world. And so it's not about like big companies, I think, anymore. Even though big companies, they still have the power to actually influence and create something that works for a lot of people very fast. Sometimes you see that it is still possible for small entrepreneurs to be inventive and understand the technology that they have in hand, and to create something amazing, right? And to then later on sell to one of these big companies, which is like incredible how we are like living in a way a kind of a revolution in this sense, right? Where there's like this big money, big wealth being distributed, changing from hands to hands in the world. So the companies who used to be very rich in the past, they lost a lot of their power, a lot of their wealth to these big tech giant companies, right? So before it used to be like oil and gas, and now is technology, and then maybe in the future it's gonna be something else. So you gotta be like really think about it, like you gotta really be smart, like reading books about the future, about visionary people that are able to actually talk about these things. And Silicon Valley has the brightest minds in the world on predicting the future and talking about this kind of topics that I'm saying here. So yeah, it's really fascinating to read, to get inspired by books about great people and talks. And you have so many amazing talks now recorded on YouTube. There's this channel which is like talks by Google, that Google actually puts for everyone to listen. So there's this huge amount of information online that you can go and get inspired to, and check, and it's really fascinating. It's really fascinating if you put yourself into a mindset of someone who wants to participate and wants to actually build the future. It's really awesome. Yeah, so I think the key takeaway from this quote here is: do your homework, study, always practice to become the best, and to give the best out of yourself, and give give your passion, devote your passion into something and become a master of it, and practice and get very confident and gain confidence, right? Because when you do that, and you're gonna be ready and you're gonna be prepared for the time where luck will come to you, and where opportunity and luck comes to you, you're gonna be prepared for your punch moment, for the moment where your life will grow in exponential rates. Okay, well, so that's it for me. I'm gonna sign off now. Here is the quote: fortune favors the bold. Thank you very much for watching, and please support the channel. Please click on the like button and comments, and it would be really great for me to have a discussion about these posters, about these quotes with you guys. And this would be a self-help and a place for learnings, and would become a community, where I would be very happy to reply all of your messages and start a discussion, because I think that's what's missing on YouTube. I see like many YouTubers, they just don't have the time to follow up with the people. They don't answer all their questions, and then it just becomes like a one-way thing, which I want to make something different. I really want to devote all my time to reply all your questions or your answers, and give you my thoughts about it and start a discussion, not through a teacher perspective, because I'm not here saying that I'm a teacher, but as a friend, as a virtual colleague that wants to be part of a community, right? So here you go. Fortune favors the bold, and thank you very much. See you again.